ready to rumble. From the PE Center, John Grimes Court, Marian University women's basketball on the air. And tonight, early conference positioning in the Crossroads League on the line as the 6th-ranked Marian University Knights, a record of 14-1, 5-0 in conference play, take on the 12-3 Grace College Lancers, who are also 5-0 in the Crossroads League. Along with Jan Bozer, I'm John Herrick. Thank you so much for being with us on this Wednesday night. Jan, this is a Marian and Grace matchup that's intriguing for a lot of reasons. Number one, Marian has beaten Grace 15 straight times in the series, but this does not really have the makings of a Grace team that we've seen in the past that kind of sits 4th or 5th in the conference. They're at the top of the conference right now, and they want to come in here tonight and really challenge the Knights.
You are absolutely correct, John. Let me tell you, they can put some points up too, averaging 77, and they're a better rebounding team than Marian has been, at least so far. This is a superb matchup. Marian is so efficient with the ball. Their percentages are off the chart. Obviously, Collier has a whole lot to do with that. But I tell you, this is going to be a dynamic matchup.
What do you think your keys to the game are tonight?
Well, I tell you, for the keys to the game, shot selection. That's what Marian does better than anybody. For Grace, they want to push it a little bit. Both these teams got to stay out of foul trouble. They got some bench, but they can't afford to lose some key players. And I just talked about rebounding. That may be Grace's edge over Marian if they dominate on the boards.
And the starting lineups for both teams. For the Marian University Knights, the lights have dimmed down. They're introducing the starters right now. Then the starting lineup they've gone through when they've been healthy. Ella Collier, of course, the leading scorer for the Knights, averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists per game, shooting 56% from the field, 52% from 3, and an NAIA best in the country free throw average of 98%. Abby McNally, a 6'1 freshman forward, averaging 12 points, 8 boards. Allison Bossy, Aaliyah Evans, and Sarah Majorashova round out the starting 5. 4, as there you look at Marian coach Steve Brooks in his 2nd year. Before he came to Marian to take over for Katie Gerald, he led St. Francis to 98 wins in 4 seasons. So a lot of championship pedigree with this coach and Steve Brooks in his 2nd year with the Knights. For the Grace College Lancers, led by Dan Davis in his 5th season, they go with Maddie Ryman, Peyton Murphy, Kaylee Patton, Carly Feldman, and Kirsten Finley. Here's the thing about Carly Feldman. She is the reigning Crossroads League Player of the Week, averaging 17 points, 13 rebounds a game. She's coming off a 25-point performance in their 95-78 win over Midway this past weekend. Maddie Ryman's coming off a game where she was scoring 31 points in that win over Midway and had 16 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds a game. Those are her averages. And there's Dan Davis on the sideline. Last year, this Grace College team won 20 games for the 3rd time in their program history, and they win the opening tip. We are underway from Marian.
In other words, John, we got some primetime players here tonight.
Driving inside, and Feldman had it partially blocked and digging it out of there. Well done by Aaliyah Evans, and Marian's defense stands tall. Evans dumping it down to Bossy. She's in trouble. Tries to pass it out of there, got deflected. Knights catch a break. Bossy likes that shot, but it doesn't go down for her this time. And Feldman the rebound. Grace pushing. And cutting inside, not finishing, is Murphy, and there's a rebound by Majorashova.
Well, what you've seen out of Grace right there is what they'll do. They love to push it. Normally they'll finish. Missed that one, though.
Majorashova from Slovakia. She transferred to Marian from SIU Edwardsville. Collier. Tried to pass it at the last moment, ends up turning it over. Grace defending well and pushing on the other side. That 3 launched by Murphy off the mark. She had 9 points in that win over Midway. Ball deflected, last touch by Grace, so Marian keeps it.
Grace shoots some threes. They're not near as efficient. They shoot 30% behind the line, but they have a couple players who are far better than 30%.
Majorashova inbounds the basketball. Also, this is the first home game for Marian since December 3rd. It
That's
has
amazing.
been over a month.
That is amazing.
Nice cut inside by Bossy.
Beautiful. That's what Marian's key is. They really do a great job of moving without the ball. Cut and move.
And Bossy, known well as a defender, but she averages 9 points and 3 rebounds a game, so she can definitely put it up and score. A good pass inside here and a finish by the Crossroads League Player of the Week, Carly Feldman.
If you get passes inside like that, it's going to be a long night. Perfect pass.
Majorashova. Bossy trying to get open. Now she does. Collier stepping back for 3. And the rebound to Patton.
Good shot by the Knights. Just didn't fall.
They get back well in transition, and they take it away. Abby McNally rips it out of there. Ella Collier missed a couple games earlier this year with an injury, and McNally really stepped up the scoring when she was absent.
Listen, the Knights average 10 steals a game, so they like to get some steals.
Bossy's in trouble here, needs help. Gets it from Collier, gives it back to Bossy. Foot on the line for a two-pointer, yes.
Good ball movement. She's ready to shoot and drained it.
Ryman, floater, too strong. Collier the rebound. This is a Grace team that shoots 44% from the field, 30% from 3, 71% from the foul line.
Nice
Strong
pass.
take inside by Aaliyah Evans. She averages 11 points, 4 rebounds a game. Marian shooting 47% from the field, 35% from 3, and 74% from the line. And the ball goes out of bounds. Good job by Bossy to get that defensive deflection, and it went off of a Grace player, so it works out very well for Marian as they force a turnover.
You know, right here's the assist by Collier. You know, we talk so much about her shooting. 40 assists for the year for Collier.
She's got about as well-rounded of a stat line as you can have. And Collier drives in, turned away. Evans has it rejected by Feldman. Feldman nearly has it taken away and does. Collier right there. Evans lobs it back to Collier, layup, yes.
Some steals early for the Knights. They're going to get after it. You got to find some points off your defense, I believe, if you're going to win this one.
2 turnovers on Grace, 1 on Marian. This is a 6-0 run by the Knights. Deflected by Bossy, but Bossy also got a piece of the arm, so she picks up the game's first foul.
Little denial. They felt like too much physical contact there and got the foul. Good start for the Knights. You want to get in a good big game like this. Really big if you get off to a good start, John.
Marian certainly got off to a good start in their last game, a non-conference win over Weber International. They won that going away 72-37. Cutting through the lane, Kirsten Finley, her first basket.
Well, Feldman got hung up. Really nice pass from her, and they got the 2.
And Bossy gets her feet behind the line this time for 3. Allison Bossy having an outstanding first quarter. She has 7 of Marian's 11 points.
She can shoot it behind the arc, John, 34%.
They try to lob it into Feldman, touch pass, good ball movement by Grace. Patton working inside, no, rebound by McNally.
Grace really owns the stat on offensive rebounds. Right now, Marian doing a really good job snagging the defensive rebounds.
It's like they heard you in the pregame, didn't they?
They do. Most people do hear me.
McNally turns and scores.
Nice. Love the flow right now, John. You can see the flow that Marian has. You just see it, and it feels right.
4th different night to score. Patton uncorks the 3. Collier the rebound. Marian's got numbers here, a 5-on-4. Collier notices that.
Big
dishes.
possession. Big possession.
And Aaliyah Evans backs out the dribble.
A little run here. Marian could be. Nope, didn't take care of the ball.
Second turnover of the game on the Knights. Finley, stop and pop. And there's the rebound from Majorashova. Last few times down the floor, Grace has not had anybody underneath to rebound.
John, that's a good point. And we just described what a good rebounding ball club they are. But the pace is faster than the rebounders are getting down there.
Collier. It's a screen from Evans. This is McNally. Ran out of real estate. Shot clock is down to 5. Collier gets it up and is fouled. And this is the person you don't want to put on the line if you are Grace. because Collier shoots it at 98%.
Well, this is a veteran play. Take a look right here. Good ball rotation. Now she knows she's going to have some contact, swings the ball wide so they can't block it. That's just a veteran play. Because, listen, as you just mentioned, Marian wants her to the free throw line. In fact, they'd love her to build a condo there and stay there all night.
Jenna Blakely just checked in for Grace, a 5'9" junior guard, averaging 7 points, 2 rebounds a game.
The more she is at that free throw line, the better Marian likes it.
She's automatic on both, hitting them both. She's got 4, and Marian's lead is now 15-4.
Really good run by the Knights.
This was a 2-2 tie early, then a 6-0 run, and since that time, it's Marian outscoring Grace 13-2 over the last few minutes here. A drive, a shot, and a miss by Peyton Murphy, but Peyton draws a foul. Well, that is against Collier, her first.
You got to get some help side defense here. She had a clean look, dribble drive right into the lane, and when that happens, you got to get some backside help, and Marian didn't react quick enough.
Kate Ruley, a 6-foot sophomore center, just checked in for Grace. Murphy's a 76% free throw shooter, able to convert that. She's the 3rd different Grace College Lancer to score in this one.
Well, Grace shoots from the free throw line pretty well as well. They average 71% for the free throw line.
She drops home the second. Majorashova coming up the floor and giving it to Evans. Evans sees an opening, uses it, and got it off the window and in.
Well, that's twice now. Marian has found that right side, dribble drive, easy layup.
Ryman trying to get something going, falls down, had it knocked out of her hands. 3rd turnover on Grace. Bossy to Majorashova. Oh, she had a teammate open for a second, just couldn't quite get it there.
She did, didn't see her.
Sub coming in for Marian at the next dead ball. Bossy's got it. She leads them in scoring right now with 7 points.
Somebody's got to move. There we go.
McNally lobs it. Bad pass into a double team as it's stolen away by Ryman.
In fairness to her, Marian kind of stood in that possession. They got to move.
Murphy tries to get it into the lane, and it's deflected out of there. And Coach Steve Brooks for Marian just told his team, slow down.
Yeah, they're not interested in getting in some fast-paced contest. That's not what they do. They'll take transition, but they love the half court.
Collier got it
all day.
Ella Collier with 6 points. Ryman trying to get on the board. Does not with that shot, but she might from the free throw line as she gets fouled.
Now, Coach Brooks not real happy with the penetration that the Lancers continue to get in that paint, because here's the other problem. The more they get in there, John, the more probable you are to get in foul trouble.
Tamia Perriman just checked in off the night bench. Allison Bossy heads back there. It's Coach Steve Brooks cheering on his team. Ryman, the team's 2nd leading scorer, at 16 points, 4 assists, 4 boards, a 79% free throw shooter. Goes 1 of 2 at the line. Only 2 field goals in this first quarter for Grace. Everything else for them has been at the free throw line. Evans.
Got a little careless.
Turnover number 5 on the Knights.
This is not a game, John, where you want that turnover stat to start creeping up on you.
Murphy ran out of room.
Oh,
and
yep,
travel.
Yep, good call.
Travel on Jenna Blakely.
Shuffle the feet.
Coming up on 2 minutes left in this first quarter. It's a slow start for both these teams. Had struggled to get going offensively, but Marian's found their groove. Perriman attacks. Almost got it. Put it up a little too hard, though. She gets down. Now she's back up and running. Meanwhile, Murphy attacking, throws a bad pass in the lane that's stolen. Evans, behind the back pass, tried to get it to Jayla Wayner. but sent it out of play.
That's going to drive a coach crazy.
Yep, and that's exactly what Steve Brooks did not want to see.
Now you get it. Good idea, but listen, the pass, the 2 points is far more important than a behind-the-back pass. I get it. I love it as much as anybody, but, man, in a game like this, you need every single point you can get.
McKenna Kirby just came in to replace Evans. Kirby, a 5'8" freshman guard, averaging 7 points, 3 rebounds.
If you're going to put a behind-the-back pass in a game like this, it had better be pinpoint, and you get 2 points out of it.
Kate Ruley just got called for an offensive foul for Grace. That's their first and the team's second here in the first period. And she wasn't set, and she shoved off on the arm there on Jayla Wayner. And Collier will inbound. She needs some help, though, and Majorashova comes over to give it to her.
Offense got to go through Collier. Move, cut, pass.
Collier drives and scores.
I rest my case.
I sentence this judgment in your favor, Council Jan.
Listen, you have to be smart to know this offense needs to go through her.
Kayla Patton in the lane. Good defense by Collier to force the miss, and the ball goes down off of Ryman's hands and out of play. Coach Dan Davis of Grace telling his team to play cleaner.
Last minute here. Marion's defense has been, I think, pretty solid,
yes,
John, here to start off with.
And they've rebounded well.
Nice.
And inside to Perriman, and Tamia Perriman there able to convert.
Gorgeous pass. Under control, knew she was there, perfect pass.
Marion's made 9 of their last 10 shots. And out of control that time was Blakely. It doesn't work. Perriman the rebound. Grace has missed their last 5 shots. They haven't had a field goal in 6 minutes.
Game clock, shot clock are awful close.
Majorashova to Collier. Collier with a nice move and uses the glass and scores, and 2 and 1. First quarter comes to an end. The Knights dominate and lead it 25-7 as we go to the second on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work, it can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 1.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Is your building haunted or infested with icky snakes? Then tear it down. The Raise Trash Demolition Squad can flatten buildings up to 3 stories tall. Whether it's a commercial or residential structure, the Raise Trash Demo experts will make it go boom. And with their roll-off containers, they'll haul away the mess quicker than you can say, hey, there used to be a building there. Bring your old fire trap to its knees with Raise Trash.
RaiseTrash.com.
Raise Trash.
Tonight's broadcast of Marian University basketball brought to you in part by AAA Roofing. When it rains, it pours, so be sure to trust the pros at AAA Roofing. That is who we call. Also by Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, a proud partner of the Marian University Knights. Well, a stat that tells the story of this game so far, Jan. Marian shooting 79% from the field, Grace College 15%. As you take a look at this program, which enjoys national championships, one of those banners from 2017.
That will win you a lot of games. Collier's going to take a little breather here, get a little extra rest. She'll be back in shortly. But I'll tell you, I felt the women played probably as bad as well as they can play. Let's see if they can carry on in period number 2.
2 teams at the top of the Crossroads League standings at 5-0 in conference play. And McAnally cannot convert to start off. So it is Jayla Wayner, Allie McAnally, Allison Bossy, Sarah Majorashova, and Kenneth Kirby. That's the 5 out there for Marian. You mentioned Collier getting a breather, Jan. She's got 10 points so far, and a foul here on the Knights to begin the second.
One of the amazing things about her, among many, is she lets the game come to her, John. You rarely see her force anything. She works hard to get a great shot selection, and then when she does, she nails it. That's why her percentages are just so amazing.
There's Dan Davis, the Grace coach, trying to get some sort of lineup out there that's working. He brings in Kenzie McMahon, a 5'11 junior forward. She gets the inbound pass and has it rejected by McAnally.
Good defense. Kept the hand straight up, didn't come down, no foul.
Bossy almost, well, she did, yep. She tried to avoid sliding that pivot foot, but ends up walking. And that's the 7th turnover on Marian.
Take a look at the hands, straight up. It's one thing to play good defense, it's another to get a block and then play with no fouling.
McMahon is the only reserve player out there for Grace. The other 4 players out there are starters in Ryman, Patton, Feldman, and Finley. This is McMahon going to work, just lost it out of bounds. Yeah, the defense was excellent from Kenna Kirby. She didn't do anything but just stay in front of her.
Well, Grace is really just forcing this offense down in the paint. You're not seeing really any inside-outside at all for the Lancers.
Turnovers are basically a wash at this point. Both teams have turned it over 7 times. Strong take by Wayner doesn't work. Rebound by McNally. Out
yes,
to
sir.
3, and that is knocked down by Allison Bossy. Her second 3 of the first half. She's got 10 points.
McNally really seeing the field, kicks it out for a better shot.
28-7 Knights. This drought for Grace for field goals going on close to 8 minutes. And they're going to get a foul call here on McNally, who looked like she was straight up there. At least the Marian bench sure thought they'd.
She was, but watch your hand. Here's where it goes wrong, right there. See, as soon as that hand comes down, even if it's clean, it's so quick, the official more often than not is going to give you a foul. If that hand stays straight up and she makes a little contact, probably get away with it. But the hand was the difference in the possession before and that possession.
Harley Feldman to the line. She's a 63% free throw shooter. Their leading scorer, averaging a double-double. She has 4 points, and boy, do they need her to get going. Really, Grace needs just about anybody.
Let's see how Marian handles the pressure now.
Well, it leads to a steal.
That's what you want if you're Grace. You turn it on and try to get that quick turnover. That's exactly what they got.
McMahon was the one who picked up the loose ball. Ruley darts inside, put it up too strong. Offensive rebound by Feldman. She gets hit on the arm. That's the 3rd foul on Marian already here in the second quarter.
Well, you and I talked about it in that first period. Grace did not attack the offensive glass much at all. Now all of a sudden, I think the message was clear. A lot of their offense, John, is offensive rebounds. And so far in the second period, they certainly have enhanced that.
And you send Feldman back to the line. That's one thing you want to do if you're a team that's trailing big. You want to get points that are free with the clock stopped. 6 of Grace's 10 points have come from the line, make it 7 of their 11. Marian's led by as many as 21. This game was tied at 2 early. Marian goes on a 6-0 run and then opens it up from there after they led 8-2. And Grace facing an uphill battle, as they always seem to have to deal with when they play Marian, especially here at Marian.
And Brooks immediately says, Collier, you're back in.
Nice find inside from Wayner to an open Abby McNally.
Well, that's Coach Grimes' game. Half court, patience, get the best shot.
Nice take inside by Ryman. She gets the basket to go down and the foul.
Well, she drew the contact. That was initiated by her, and I'm suggesting it was a good play. Take a look here. See, watch her body right there. She initiates the contact, and because the defender's moving, the official's going to give the foul.
And Jayla Wayner's in foul trouble for Marian. She just picked up her second. Free throw made by Ryman. And what do we have? A substitution here for Grace, but, well, they actually called a 30-second timeout. So they'll end up having that sub come in when Dan Davis finishes up talking to his team here in this timeout. While we have a moment, We'll let you know that tonight's game is brought to you in part by BSN. Thank you to BSN, the preferred provider of apparel for Marian Knight Athletics. Also by the M Club. Joining the M Club is the best way to support the student athletes at Marian University. For more information, be sure to visit marian.edu/mclub. So if you're Grace now, things are starting to look a little bit more in your favor, and I think their attitude is probably, let's get this down to about 10 around by halftime, and we're within striking distance.
Yeah, no question about it. And they're clearly making their effort to pound it inside and get to the free throw line.
There's a look at Carly Feldman, who's starting to get things going her way. She's got 6 points now. And Marian turns it right over, right back to him off the timeout. And Coach Steve Brooks was standing up. He sits right back down, and his face is about as red as a strawberry right now.
Unforced errors will make you turn into a strawberry.
Ryman hands it off to Murphy. Marian's given it away 8 times now. Lob pass in to Feldman. Feldman, that's a shot she normally makes, but got her own rebound, tipping it to herself and scoring.
Now she's starting to win the 50-50 battles inside. Marian's got to take care of the ball here.
Bossy slows it up. What was a 21-point lead has been whittled down to 14.
Well, that all happened when Grace went into that full court press and got some buckets out of it.
McNally to Collier. Collier scores.
Automatic.
She did that so much when she played high school basketball at Danville. And she has done nothing but flourish ever since getting here at Marian. She almost knocks the ball away here, and Patton picks it up. Patton lobs it in to Feldman. Nice pass to the corner, open 3 for Murphy, and Peyton Murphy knocks down the triple.
Well, you kind of wondered when Grace might go outside. They've just been pounding it, and Marian's really in the paint. So somebody's got to be open, and Grace found him.
And Ryman didn't mean to commit that foul, simply though wrong place, wrong time as she falls over there committing that. But there's another look at that pass with the double came. That's the first 3-pointer that Grace has knocked down so far. McMahon comes back in, Kenzie McMahon to the lineup.
You kind of get the feeling that Grace is starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm offensively.
And Aaliyah Evans couldn't get the shot to go, and then she kind of overran the basketball when she tried to follow her own shot. Nice take inside by Murphy, and the rebound by McNally.
McNally's been solid on both ends. Great hustle.
McNally's got 4 rebounds.
That?
And down on the other side, McNally scores, plus the foul, has a chance for a 3-point play.
Listen, she gets the rebound and beats everybody down the court right here. Look at that.
And that's just Feldman not being fast enough, and she didn't turn her head around. That's a costly foul for Feldman because she just picked up her second. McNally hits the free throw, and Kate Ruley comes back onto the floor for Grace.
Those are the difference makers that get you conference championship and tournament championships. Plays like that, John.
Marian's starting to come alive again offensively. They've made 4 of their last 5 shots. Step back 3 by Patton. Oh,
yes,
my.
sir. Yes, sir.
Grace couldn't get much of a 2-point shot off in the first quarter. Now they've hit a couple of 3-pointers.
Down to 13. Grace on a little bit of a run.
This is kind of what they did last year. They struggled early in the game and then rallied in the second half. Marian ended up pulling away and winning by 10, but Grace is scrappy. They're not going to go away without a fight. They're 2-1 on the road. Marian 7-0 here at home.
Murphy glued on Collier right now. Absolutely glued on her.
Majora Shova finds an opening and scores.
See, somebody's got to be open because Grace is absolutely plastered on Collier right now.
That's the 6th different Marian Knight to score. Ryman with the take, leaves it short. Rebound by Evans. Evans with a nice pass inside to McNally, and she was a little bit probably too far into the basket.
A little out of position.
Murphy the other way for Grace. They'll make a sub at the next dead ball. Patton on the drive, absorbs contact and scores. She's got 5.
She made that.
Grace College hanging around here.
Yes, sir. Marian needs something here. They don't get something here, and there may be a timeout. Next offensive possession for the Knights.
They've outscored Marian in this quarter, 17-12. Nice lob pass by Majorshova, though, into Aaliyah Evans, and Evans gets her first basket of the second quarter. She's got 6 for the game.
And that was in between a double team, I might add.
Ryman to Murphy. Murphy defended well by Majorshova. Ryman again, runs into a crowd, falls down, loses the ball.
Yeah, that's a good no call.
Collier takes it up strong, no. Offensive rebound, McNally missed it.
Great hustle.
Evans saves it, and she's fouled on the baseline by Murphy.
Great hustle. Marian really getting active on the boards there.
Aaliyah Evans, the 5'9" junior guard who's averaging 11 points and 4 rebounds a game, always finds a way to be around the action.
Look at her right here, John. Just effort. Just effort. That's all that is. Evans doing a great job.
3 team fouls on Grace in this quarter, 4 on Marian. Oh, not a great inbound pass by Majorshova. Stolen away by Finley.
Grace got numbers.
And Murphy scores on the other side. Murphy's got 7, the lead down to 13 again.
Let me tell you something. Grace makes you take care of the ball. Their quickness out front, if you make a mistake, they're going to make you pay, John.
Grace has hit 5 of their last 7 shots. They have 6 steals in the game. Marian has 5. Been a very tenacious defensive game on both sides.
Clear out.
Perriman could not get that one to go.
They cleared out, John. Gave her the lane. She didn't get it up high enough. This big possession for Grace right here.
Murphy from the baseline hits.
Down to 11.
She's got 9. Peyton Murphy did not have a field goal in the first quarter, just 2 free throws.
This all started, John, with the press.
Coach Dan Davis for Grace went to the full court press, and on the first possession where he did it, he forced a turnover. McNally sees Bossy in the corner, but it got deflected by Feldman and a steal. And then the overthrow on the other side.
Coach Brooks is letting Marian play through this a little bit, getting a little ragged.
McNally checks out. Coming in for her.
Collier's yelling at her team right now. Everybody just settle down.
Allison Bossy comes back out there. And that pass deflected and almost stolen.
That's not good. That's not a good pass, I should say. Grace too quick. You're not going to make lofty passes around here. Grace can get to the ball way too quick for a soft pass.
It was 28-7 Marian to begin this quarter. Since then, Grace has outscored Marian 21-11. Evans on the drive. In trouble. Bounce pass to Bossy.
There you
Clobbered.
go.
Peyton Murphy hits her. So that's 4 team fouls on Grace. So both teams have reached the foul limit. Shooting 2 no matter what on the subsequent foul. That's Murphy's second. So Murphy's got 2. Carly Feldman has 2 for Grace. Bossy to the line. And she's been kind of a mixed bag, I think, from free throw land. She shoots 64% from there, but she goes through stretches where she hits a lot in a row or misses a lot in a row, it seems like. But she hits them both here.
Let me tell you, in a game like this, both teams, if you're going to win, you got to hit free throws.
Marian, as I mentioned before, slightly better collectively as a team shooting the free throw. Kate Ruley got by Perriman, drove inside, and draws a foul.
That's 2, I think.
Yep, that's 2 on Ella Collier.
I would think you'd pull her with a minute 44, except for the fact they're on offense. Yep, I think they're going to pull it. You cannot take a chance, I don't think, here.
Collier with 2, and Jayla Weiner is the other Marian Knight in foul trouble with 2. But then Ruley can't connect on the free throw. She's 67% at the line. McNally about to come, well, nope. Collier staying in. I don't know that Evans really had to touch that, but she did. Now she's coming out. So Collier does check out. McNally back in for her. Maddie Ryman is returning for Grace.
Well, the good news is that's just number 2. We talked about keys of the game. Key players like Collier, you certainly, if you're Marian, do not want number 3 on her anytime soon.
Grace has hit 3 shots in a row, trying to make it 4 here. Patton backs it out. Finds Ryman. Gets a screen. Ryman. And the rebound by Bossy.
Brooks again yelling, slow it down. He wants half-court execution. That's what they do best.
Majorashova to McNally. Now Perriman. She has 1 basket in this half. McNally was calling for it.
No need to force it here. With the lead, just execute. Move, cut, move, cut.
5 on the shot clock. Majorashova lets it go. And the rebound tipped up in the air and grabbed by Evans.
Great hustle.
Evans dishes it to McNally,
yes.
and she scores.
Boy, I tell you, one lady out here is hustling, and that's Evans.
That's her 4th rebound. McMahon didn't like what she saw. 17-second difference between shot and game clock. Ryman handing it off to Finley. Finley out to Ryman for 3.
Oh, man.
Chasing down the offensive rebound. Well done by Jenna Blakely. And then on the other side, Kirsten Finley scores.
And that's a big bucket for Grace. Down to 13. Big possession here, John. Can they take something into the locker room with them?
Evans with 5, with 4. Evans,
yes, sir. Evans with a huge bucket to close out the half.
And Marian was up 21, saw their lead dwindle down to 11, but now they've pushed it back up to 15 as we go to the locker room. We'll have your first half highlights, stats, analysis, and much more from the PE Center on John Grimes Court when we return in just a moment. You're watching Marian University basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. They've been in business for 35-plus years. I'm here with the owner, Richard Michaelis. Hey, Richard, what's the key to the growth over the last 35 years?
Pat, I believe being a family-owned local business that is involved in the community has a lot to do with it.
All right, so you have a lot of services. Tell us about some of those services.
We're really, really strong in the emergency services, smoke, fire damage restoration, storm and water damage restoration, all while working with your insurance company. We also do mold remediation, basement and crawl space waterproofing, foundation repair, and roof repair. We are a full-service company.
All right, as the owner, we know you wear a lot of hats. What do you do day to day?
I really love being out in the field working with our clients. It gives me a great opportunity to understand their needs so we can take care of them.
Your hands-on approach, I think, is a lot to do with the success of Michaelis. If you find yourself needing their services, give them a call anytime, 24/7 at 844-FIX-INDY. The Michaelis Corporation. Construct, renovate, restore.
This is the Pepsi for America's Best Barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you. This is the Pepsi for serious fans and serious eats. This is the Pepsi for Sundays at the ballpark and days off at your favorite pizza joint. Right, Aaron?
Best slice in New York.
Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Now get financing as low as 2.99% APR on a new or used vehicle. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
First half lead for the Marian Knights, 45-30. Ella Collier, a big reason why, Jan. She has 12 points, but of course, she's also impacting the game in so many other ways. 5 of 7 shooting. She also has 2 assists and 3 rebounds.
Well, one you left out, leadership. This team's different when she's in there simply because of leadership. Multiple times she was instructing her team, listen, settle down, and that's what good players do.
Team stats in the first half, Grace shot 36% from the field, Marian 63%. Marian shot 2 of 3 from three-point range for 67%. Grace was 2 of 5 from downtown, 40%. Grace was 8 of 11 from the foul line. Marian was 5 of 5. And another stat that I think is important, Jan, based on what you said in the pregame is one of your keys to victory. Marian had to find a way to out-rebound Grace. They've out-rebounded the Lancers here 20-11.
You're right, huge. And look at that score, 45. And this is the ball club. It averages around just shy of 80. So this is a wicked offensive pace for Marian Knights.
Marian has led 17 minutes and 52 seconds of this game. The other 2 minutes and 8 seconds of it, we were tied at 2. So the rest of it has been all Marian. Grace has been playing from behind. They did outscore Marian in that second quarter, 23-20. We'll give you some individual stats and much more when we come back to Marian University in just a moment. You're watching Marian University basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
Who's got time for hot dogs and disco music? Your mind's cluttered with thoughts of commercial waste removal. So thank the good Lord above for Ray's Trash. Ray's will collect the intolerable rubbish at all your company's locations up to 6 times a week. That's 42 times in dog weeks. They shred documents and recycle too. And Ray's has roll-off containers for big loads, like construction waste or when your giant dies. Got a business? Get yourself to raystrash.com.
raystrash.com.
Ray's Trash.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. They've been in business over 35 years. I'm here with Joe Polizzi to talk emergency services. Now, Joe, when I set my house on fire with a toaster, you were actually in my yard before the firefighters left.
Well, Pat, I remember that call like it was yesterday, and although I was disappointed that it was yours, I was happy that I was going to be able to provide some assistance.
You know, this is a true story. A firefighter actually told me I needed to call someone for emergency services, kind of obvious, and I told him Michaelis was on the way. He said, great, because they're the real deal. Joe, now what do you do in these situations when you show up?
Well, we try to be a calming influence, and we try to find out what the needs are of the family. Everybody's needs are different. Everybody's desires are different. What we try to do is match what we could provide with what they need and do it very smoothly.
I've lived it. If you find yourself needing emergency restoration service in the wake of a fire, flood, or storm, give the Michaelis Corporation a call anytime, 24/7, 844-FIX-INDY.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
45-30 your halftime score. Marian leads Grace along with Jan Bozer. I'm John Herrick, and tonight's broadcast of Marian University basketball brought to you in part by Indiana Members Credit Union, proud to support Marian University. They now offer a free Marian Knights debit card with a free checking account. Get your Knights debit card today and show your support. Visit any IMCU branch or sign up online now at imcu.com. Membership savings required, federally insured by NCUA. Individual scoring in that first half, only 2 players finished with double-figure scoring. That was Ella Collier and Allison Bossy, who each have 12 for Marian, 9 points for Abby McNally, 8 for Aaliyah Evans, 2 points each for Sarah Majorshova and Tamia Perriman. For Grace, they were led in scoring by Peyton Murphy, who had 9 points, 8 points for Carly Feldman, 5 for Kaylee Patton, and 4 points each for Maddie Ryman and Kirsten Finley. So not a single player for Grace, Jan, has scored in double figures, and Grace is coming in scoring over 70 points a game, and you're holding them on pace for 60. I think you got to give a lot of credit to the Marian defense.
No question about it, and I think Evans was a big piece of that. Not only defensive end, offensive. She had a lot of things, John, that weren't in the stat sheet. Hustle plays, deflections. I thought her first half may have been as good as any time I've ever seen her.
And then you mentioned the foul trouble. Here's the story for both teams. 2 for Peyton Murphy, 2 for Carly Feldman. So your leading scorer and rebounder if your Grace has 2 fouls, but also the leading scorer for Marian has 2 fouls, and so does Jayla Wayner.
So guess what? If I'm Grace, I'm attacking Collier, man. Guess what? If I can get her sitting down, that is a huge play. So I think they're in there talking right now. Guys, we got to go right at her to see if we get that 3rd foul early.
More on second half adjustments, what both teams need to do, and much more when Jan and I return to John Grimes Court in just a moment. You're watching Marian University basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Marian University is like a home to me.
Campus is where I made friends that I know will last a lifetime.
Academics, sports, or arts, Marian's got something for you.
Plus, downtown Indy is just 10 minutes away from campus.
I'm a huge sports fan. Living in Indy, I've got the Knights, the Colts, and the Pacers.
Applying was so fast and easy.
I went to Marian for the education, but what I took away was the experience.
Marian University offers an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.
45-30 the lead for Marian as you take a look at the really nice Knight logo at midcourt. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. And Jan, this was a scrappy game first. It was hard for both teams to get going early, but then Allison Bossy got the action started for the Knights.
Yeah, and I think the big star right now has been big for the Knights. Obviously, they had that huge run. The Lancers made a little run there late, but there's always something to be said about a quick get out to the front lead.
And also, I think what was really important is this was one of the problems for Marian here. This was one of their 9 first-half turnovers that led to a Grace bucket. But they really, I think when the score was 39-28 and they had their lead cut to 11, they go on a 6-2 spurt there to push the lead back to 15 and maybe put that seed of doubt back in Grace's mind as you see Ella Collier and her team come back out on the floor.
And this team has that ability, and that's why they've only lost one, because they can put together 2 or 3 buckets in a real hurry. And that's what Coach Brooks continues to tell them. Don't play faster than what you should, because you're super efficient at one speed. You're pretty good at the other one. I'll take super efficient all day long.
These are 2 very experienced coaches as well. Dan Davis for Grace in his 5th season. This really, I mean, he's really helped move this Grace basketball program forward. They had 20 wins last year for the 3rd time in school history. So they haven't done that a whole lot, but they've been winning a lot more games lately. So you know that Dan Davis is going to try to make some adjustments for Grace in the second half. What do you think those might be?
Well, I think they found something when they inside-outside. You know, we commented on that. You didn't see much of it. But the real key for them is, and we mentioned that in the pregame, offensive rebounds. If they're going to win this game, they're going to win that offensive rebound battle, and that ultimately can put them at the line. For me, that's where their strength is.
When we come back, we'll have a second half action from Marian University. They lead the Grace College Lancers in a game featuring the top 2 teams in the Crossroads League at 5-0 in conference play. Second half action when we return in just a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Own a home? Here's a tip. Don't dump your garbage in the street. Neighbors get fussy about that sort of thing. Instead, count on Ray's Trash to haul it away. Ray's can supply 96-gallon waste and recycling bins that'll make you the envy of the cul-de-sac. And when you need a roll-off container for that big job, guess who's going to be there for you? That's right, Ray's. Your filth needs a place of its own. Ray's Trash will move it there. You know where to go.
Ray'sTrash.com.
Ray's Trash.
Does your school offer high-quality education? Does it offer virtual or hybrid options? Marian University Preparatory School educates students in a safe, faith-based environment focused on college and career exploration. Here at Marian University Preparatory School, we empower parents and help students to master what they love and learn as they live. We are now enrolling students in grades 6 through 9 this fall. Full financial aid packages are still available. Act now to make MU Prep your school for 2022.
Well, the Marian Knights are out here warming up. Don't see the Grace College Lancers yet coming out of the locker room. Maybe they'll come out eventually, at least hope they do. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by First On-Site, formerly More Restoration. They're here to help power you through whatever comes your way. They're a leading North American property restoration company that specializes in emergency response restoration and reconstruction following disasters of any kind. From fire and flood to catastrophic storms or biohazards, they have the team, technology, and resources to help you restore, rebuild, and rise. First On-Site says, go Knights. They now have come back out onto the floor, the Grace College Lancers. And Jan, we mentioned several stats here throughout the halftime show. One other pair of stats I think we should hit on: steals. Grace has 8 steals, Marian has 5. But here's the other thing. Marian is also sharing the basketball a lot better than Grace is. They have 13 assists. Grace has just 4 of those.
Yeah, and both these teams average around 10 steals, but let me tell you something. In a game like this, every possession now that we have 2 quarters left are going to be huge. And let's not forget, Grace outscored Marian in that second period by 3, 23-20. So while Marian made a little run, Grace still found some pretty good offense in period number 2.
Carly Feldman, the Crossroads League Player of the Week, did not really have a successful first quarter, just 2 points, but she got going in the second, ended up with 8. Be interesting to see. It's been for Marian mostly Bossy and Collier generating the offense. Between the two of them, they have 24 of Marian's 45 points. Interesting to see who else can help out those 2 women on the floor to see who can provide more scoring.
Well, absolutely, and I thought there was a lot of contributors, but that being said, in the half court, the ball needs to go through Collier. Every other possession minimum. And you're only going to do that now if you have good movement. Remember, we talked about, for the most part, I thought the movement in the first half was pretty good. But a few times when Marian stood, it got them into trouble. They cannot do that because Grace understands they got some points they got to make up, and they're going to come out just gangbusters here in the second half.
Big thanks to our entire crew. Jordan Shue, our director. Bailey Chamberlain on the replay. Alan Hughes running graphics. Our camera operators Chase Eisnagel, Rob Lynch, and Stephen Hughes. So big thanks to our entire ISC Sports Network crew bringing you all of the action here tonight. 10 minutes on the clock here. Ready to go to start the second half. Marian 14-1. Their only loss of the season was to 4th-ranked Carroll, so a very good team. Marian's ranked 6th in the entire NAIA. There's Ella Collier, who, by the way, as we've mentioned before, number 1 in the nation in free throw shooting, 98%. Grace has the ball to start the second half.
Marian had a great start in the first period. Let's see who wins his first 3 minutes in period number 3.
Bossy deflected that and almost got the steal. Grace holds on to it. Feldman lost it, got it back, and able to find a backdoor cutting Peyton Murphy for the layup.
Boy, it's a good start for the Lancers. Got the first one to go down.
Murphy has hit her last 4 shots from the field. Bossy on the drive, left it short. Feldman the rebound.
Pretty good defense. That's a tough shot. Last thing you want to happen if you're Marian is do not allow a run here.
Ryman threw it away. Turnover number 11 on Grace. And Bossy's fouled. So Ryman ends up committing a turnover on one end and then fouls Bossy on the other end. That is her second. So Maddie Ryman, the second leading scorer for Grace, has to watch out. Look at that great defense there by Aaliyah Evans. Just outstanding.
Absolutely been stellar all game long.
Marashova having trouble getting it in, and it's deflected. McNally, though, able to tip it back out to Collier. She knew she was in trouble, but kept it alive so that her leading scorer could get it. And now Majorashova tries to set something up. It's into McNally. Evans for 3. Barely hit the front of the net and rolls out of bounds. Marian looking for their first second half bucket. They started the game shooting 79%. Of course, law of averages catches up. You're not going to shoot that the whole game. Marian shooting 59% now. Grace was shooting 15% at one point. Now they're at 37%. And nice take by Murphy off a pass there from Feldman. Could not finish.
Well, I'll tell you, Grace got a great look. Wasn't able to close.
Majorashova attacks and misses. Then she knocks the ball free and chases it down. Bossy to McNally
yes,
for the
sir.
layup.
Yes, sir.
She is the third different Marian night now to be in double figures. That gives her 11. Coach Steve Brooks for Marian clapping his hands, telling his team to dig in defensively. Patton had it blocked by Collier.
Good defense by Collier. We talk about help side all day long, and it was there.
But then it gets stolen away from Evans. Murphy takes it away, lays it in, and gets fouled by Evans.
Well, we knew that the Lancers were going to come out, and they're going to risk being over-aggressive until the referees say that's too many. But you knew they were going to come out and be super physical.
First foul on Evans. Murphy's a pretty good free throw shooter, 76%. Makes it. She's 3 of 3 at the line. She's got 14 points. That's a game high.
Yes, sir. Down to 12. Marian needs a good look here.
Majorashova leaves it for Evans. Collier with the hands right in her face, able to score anyway.
Offense goes through Collier. Good things happen.
Feldman to Murphy. Murphy against Collier. Oh, very close. Collier's lucky she didn't pick up her third foul there. Evans the rebound.
But the key was, John, she kept the hands up. You're right. Still a lot of contact, but those hands are up. Little less likely perhaps to get the call.
Evans finds Bossy. To McNally. McNally loves her spot in the lane, and she converts again.
Let me tell you, she made that shot look easy. That was a tough shot because she shot it with her right.
She's got 13. Ryman stumbles, loses it, gets it back. In trouble, floats it out to Finley.
Well, you mentioned a couple times, John, every time Grace gets close, Marian's found another gear.
That one knocked away, picked up though back by Feldman and missed it. And what do we have here? I think I saw the referee point the other way. Yep, it's on Peyton Murphy. And that's a big call. That's her third.
That is big.
And that is the second foul in the quarter on Grace.
The Murphy average is just under 8. Let's see how long they keep her in here. They're going to let her play through it, John.
Bossy to Evans. Goes baseline and misses.
Tough angle. Got to use the glass on that one.
Finley pushing for Grace. To Murphy. Murphy, I think she was going to pull the trigger on the three, but the ball got to her a little bit slowly. Not an easy shot. Great defense by Collier again.
They're going after Collier, though, John.
And Collier stands tall defensively. Coach Dan Davis for Grace, furious. He thought there was a foul. Collier in a crowd of people, able to get it to McNally for the layup.
Assist to Collier, but listen, you can't make an assist and people's not cutting downhill towards the bucket.
Abby McNally with a stellar third quarter so far. She has 6 in this quarter, 15 for the game, and then an answer on the other side by Finley for her first second half field goal. Marian's led by as many as 21. Since they got that lead, Grace has cut it to as little as 11, no further than that. There's been one tie. Grace has never led in this one. Collier using the baseline, pass deflected, and a steal. Turnover number 11 on Marian. Ryman had it knocked free. Picked up by Patton. Patton absorbs contact, and they count the bucket plus the foul on Majorashova. Her second and the team's second.
Just a great move on a reverse dribble. Well, there's no doubt Grace has one thing in mind, and that is flat out get to the lane, get to the rim, and if not, get to the free throw line. That is flat out been their course of action to start this second half. Not much shots from outside at all.
And Patton able to convert the three-point play. She's got 8, and a timeout being called here by Grace College. So that puts them down at 3 remaining for the game. Tonight's game brought to you in part by O'Brien Automotive Family. If saving money is important to you, be sure to visit Tom O'Brien, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, a proud sponsor of Marian Athletics. Tom O'Brien is Indy's preferred Jeep dealer with 2 locations and the biggest Jeep inventory in Indiana. To show their support, Tom O'Brien will donate $200 to Marian for every car any student, parent, employee, or friend of Marian buys when you mention this promo. Go Knights and go to Tom O'Brien to see how our family works for you since 1933.
Marian is really good at one place. They're exceptional when they play at another pace. And that pace where they're exceptional is when they're under control, pass the ball, and get in their half-court set. You can clearly see the game plan of Grace. Been pretty much their game plan all along. Only in that second period, John, did we kind of see some inside-outside. They are flat out in attack mode. They want that 3rd foul on Collier really bad. Thought they had it, didn't get the call.
Yeah, they thought they did, and that's what Dan Davis, the Grace coach, is still saying to that official that he called the timeout in front of. Out of the timeout, Grace goes with McNally. There's Coach Davis sitting down now, taking a drink of water. He's probably used his voice a lot during the timeout and with the conversation with the ref. McNally, Collier, Bossy, Evans, and Majorshova. Grace with Ryman, Murphy, McMahon, Patton, and Feldman. Collier lets it fly.
Well,
and the rebound by Patton.
You'll still take that shot any day. A little flat on that one, but still you'll take that shot out of her any day of the week.
We're midway through the 3rd. Marian by 13. Posting up Feldman, draws a crowd. Murphy. Patton with 6 on the shot clock. Patton muscles it up, got the roll.
Well, you're right. Called it very well, John. She flat out physical that one up there, didn't she?
She is the 2nd Grace player in double figures. She's got 10. Bossy, she's been quiet, has not scored since the first half. She has 12 points, but 7 of those 12 came in the first quarter. Majorshova has an opening, put it up too hard, out of bounds off of Feldman. She couldn't quite secure it, but the ball did not hit the rim. So Marian only has 5 on the shot clock.
Marian used a lot of the shot clock on this one. Still, 5 seconds is a good amount of time to get a good look here.
And Majorshova inbounds. Trying to get McAnally free. Not there, but they get Bossy involved, and Bossy's fouled.
Well, I'll tell you, Bossy kind of bailed her team out there because they were about to get a 5, and she makes a quick cut right there. If that doesn't happen, that may have been a 5 second.
And Dan Davis gambled. He had Peyton Murphy in the game with 3 fouls, and the gamble does not pay off. His leading scorer just picked up 4 fouls. Well, now, she's not the leading scorer on average for the season, but she's their leading scorer in this game.
Right. I just felt like he felt like they had to have her.
Yep.
And if the risk was getting another foul, so be it. But I felt like he felt like if he had any shot of climbing back in this one, she had to be on the floor.
And Bossy has been stellar at the line tonight. Came in shooting 64%, and she has made all 4 of them at the free throw line, pushing the night lead back to 13. Patton again attacking, and there's
number 3.
That's the 3rd on Collier. She reached in and got part of the arm. The Grace fan base with a sarcastic applause.
Well, Coach Brooks wanted to travel, but I knew for a fact what they were going to do, and that's just good basketball. If your big player's got 2 fouls, you attack them.
And you get to put Kaylee Patton at the line. She's an outstanding free throw shooter at 81%. That's what Coach Steve Brooks continues to say.
Now with 3:57 and a 12, maybe 11-point lead, let's see how long he keeps Collier in. This ain't the first time she's played with 3 fouls. And it won't be the last. She's got to be smart.
This has been the closest that Grace has been ever since Marian took a huge lead. They led 25-7 at the end of the first quarter. Bossy can't find anybody. Now gets it to Collier. Bossy with a quick pass to Evans. She backs it out. Majorshova for three.
Oh, my.
And then there is the rebound for Kinsey McMahon. McMahon outlets it.
Big
to
possession
Ryman.
right here, John. This is huge for Grace.
McNally went for the steal and commits the foul on McMahon.
That's not what you want to do either. You stop the clock, and now all of a sudden Grace could get this under double figures.
And that is the fourth team foul on Marian, so they have now reached the foul limit in this period. Whistle, and that's team foul number 5, so 2 shots coming the rest of the way. Finley draws the foul on Majorshova. That is her 3rd. So Jayla Wayner checks in for Majorshova. Wayner has played a little bit tonight, has not scored. She committed 2 fouls. This game has been physical.
Well, we kind of figured it would be. If you're going to win a conference championship in this league, you will be physical, or you won't more than likely win the championship, because it's always been that way. You talked about Grace now up in the top. You know, for so long it's been Marian, Indiana Wesleyan, and St. Francis, and it's good to see another team up there now.
Both free throws hit by Kirsten Finley. She's got 8. Grace has outscored Marian in this quarter 16-10, and for the first time since very early in the first quarter, Grace has this deficit down to single digits. Collier got hacked. Yep, Feldman did not go straight up. She acted like she did, but she wasn't. That's her first, team's 4th, and that puts the nation's best NAIA free throw shooter at the line. Feldman's coming out. Kate Ruley is checking in. One thing that's noticeable about Grace right away is Feldman talks to her head coach, Dan Davis. They are tall. They have a lot of tall players.
And now with Collier with 3 fouls, it's a little more difficult for her to get to the free throw line, John. You got to be just a little more cautious, you know, plowing in the line in fear of getting that really bad 4th foul.
She's got 16 after making those. Inside 3 minutes to play. Again, this game is so similar to the last time Grace played here. Got down big early, came back and fought back, ended up losing by 10. Travel on Finley, yep.
Right ideal, but her good defense by the Knights, because what she thought was there was not there, and she'd already committed and got the travel.
That is the 10th turnover on Grace. They've made 3 shots in a row. Marian, by the way, has not scored a field goal in nearly 4 minutes. When they have scored, it's come at the line. Collier ends that drought right now.
So smooth. She's so smooth.
18 points for Ella Collier. Ryman jumps it out to McMahon. McMahon takes it inside. If that's on McNally, that is her 3rd.
It is.
Abby McNally. So you have McNally, Collier, and Majorshova all with 3 fouls.
Let's see what Coach Brooks does here. Last thing you want is for her to pick up another foul with 2:18 left in this 3rd period. He'll go to his bench.
Tamia Perriman checking in. That free throw goes out for McMahon. She's not a great free throw shooter, 58%.
And just like being physical in this league, you better have been developing depth, because in the conference, this is the way it is. Your depth will really be key going down the stretch in the conference.
And McMahon scores. She is the 6th different Grace College Lancer to get in the scoring column. McNally sits down. Perriman checks in. Perriman battled a knee injury earlier in the season. She's fought back from it, still wearing that brace on her left knee, though. Collier sees an opening for a second. Her defender falls down. They call her for the travel.
Yep.
Collier's like, wait a second, I thought I got fouled there. So she's trying to say that to the ref, gets back on defense.
Don't think he's interested.
Grace cut this lead to 9 in this quarter. Both these teams at the top of the Crossroads League standings at 5-0 in conference play. Driving in, shooting, and missing is Kate Ruley. Had about as good of a look as she's had all night. Wayner racing the other way, in and out. And Patton the rebound, and Bossy fouls her.
Nothing wrong with the shot. You absolutely take that shot all day long. Just didn't fall.
Both teams over the foul limit, so 2 free throws the rest of the way for the remaining 1:35 in the third.
So once again, Coach Brooks up, John, telling his team, listen, slow it down.
Patton to the free throw line again. This is not the woman you want to put on the line if you are Marian. She's an 81% free throw shooter, and she has made all 4 of her foul shots in this one.
Now let's see who closes out here with 1:35. Are we at 11? Are we 10? Are we 9? Let's see what happens here. This could be huge. More so, John, for momentum going down the home stretch.
Well, they haven't changed it on the scoreboard yet. Should be 59-49 Marian, because Patton made both of those. And a traveling violation called on Collier. And Collier, that's about as animated as I've seen her all night.
She's usually, and this is not the time you want to be talking to the official either.
30-second timeout called by Marian. Now she's still trying to plead her case. Let's see here. I think she's right. I don't know what he was calling. Anyway, 30-second timeout called by Coach Brook. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by the Michaelis Corporation. From ground-up building projects to around-the-clock emergency security services, no one answers your prayers or the phones quicker than Michaelis. Call 1-844-FIX-INDY. Michaelis, construct, renovate, restore. Pivotal point in this game. Coach Steve Brooks clearly knows that. So does that huddle. And Grace has cut it to 9 at one point. They just keep hanging around. And Marian has got to find a way, Jan, to generate some consistent offense.
I thought Coach Brooks may pull Collier for the last minute 22, but he goes, hey, got to know how to play right now. But I thought he may pour out to just save the 4th foul.
She's not the only player in foul trouble either.
No.
It's Collier. Patton driving right at her.
They're going right after her.
And she misses. Rebound, knocked around, it's loose, picked up by McMahon and scored. Well, that's normally not what Marian's done tonight. They normally have not given up the offensive rebound, but that time they did.
8-point lead.
18 rebounds for Grace, 29 for Marian. This is now the new closest deficit at 8. Collier curling through the lane and left that way short. Tamia Perriman immediately gives her a lift and says, it's all right, let's go.
Boy, Grace is filling it now. 8-point lead, John. This could really get interesting if Grace connects with 36 seconds left in the third.
Grace didn't have a field goal for about nearly 4 minutes until they made that last one. They'll use as much of the clock here as they can. 8-second difference, though, between shot and game clock. Ryman to Ruley. 7 on the shot clock now. Ryman again. Had it taken away by Rayner, then she gets it back. Tie up, jump ball, possession arrow with Marian for the final 11.7 of the third quarter. Huge play by Jayla Wayner here.
I'm not sure what the discussion is
about.
Well,
they called a jump ball initially, so unless they're talking about whether or not it should be. Unless they decide to change the call to a foul.
I'm confused.
Well, there's no reviews at this level, so I don't know what they're, unless they can try to look at the, and Coach Steve Brooks is like, are you kidding me? And I'm right there with him. I don't know how.
I doubt it has anything to look at the players. I would think. I don't know. I'm speculating.
Yeah.
So let's not do that.
I don't know what. Again, the call on the floor was a jump ball. I don't know if they could change it to a foul on Jayla Wayner. I don't know how it would be.
I would doubt that. I wonder if he's questioning the possession arrow. Did it change?
Well, the possession arrow, the arrow was with Marian on the scoreboard over here and at the scores table. Yeah, there's no way you can call a foul on Wayner there. She had her hands on the ball, and then she got her arms pulled back in the direction of the Grace players. So I don't really know how, of Ryman. So I don't know how you could, unless they want to look at the clock and make sure they have
I don't think this has anything to do with the play on the floor. It's either a clock or a possession deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to say jump ball, but they clearly were looking at.
Okay.
That was interesting. They clearly were looking at the jump ball.
Yeah.
That's what he came out and said.
11.7. So
that was interesting.
Yep. Grace sticking with that full court pressure, which has caused Marian some problems tonight. Collier with 6. Wayner dishes to Perriman. Was it tipped out by Grace? It looked like it was. Yep, 2.7. Wayner's going to inbound. See what they set up here. Don't have a lot of time. Perriman tries to get Collier free. She does. Collier for 3. It's short. Perriman grabs the rebound and chucks it back up, and time runs out. Grace puts on a big run in the third quarter, cuts it to 8 as we head to the fourth on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work, it can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 1.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Is your building haunted or infested with icky snakes? Then tear it down. The Raised Trash Demolition Squad can flatten buildings up to 3 stories tall. Whether it's a commercial or residential structure, the Raised Trash Demo experts will make it go boom. And with their roll-off containers, they'll haul away the mess quicker than you can say, hey, there used to be a building there. Bring your old fire trap to its knees with Raised Trash.
RaisedTrash.com.
Raised Trash.
Don't forget, you can get all of the up-to-the-minute information you need on Marian Knights Athletics at MUKnights.com. Be sure to follow them on Twitter as well at MU Knights. That is at MU Knights. Along with Jan Bozer and the rest of our fantastic crew on the ISC Sports Network, I'm John Herrick with you from John Grimes Court, the PE Center, Marian University. Marian's led by as many as 21 points. Grace cut that lead down to 11 in the first half. It got pushed up to 15, and they have been as close as 8 now, and they have the ball to begin the fourth quarter. And Coach Steve Brooks from Marian, Jan, he's thinking, how in the world has this happened? What do you think his team needs to do here?
Well, they're just going to have to play Marian ball, what they do well. Lancers outscored Marian 21-14 in that third. That's 2 periods in a row Marian has been outscored.
And Patton goes in and scores. Collier did not want to pick up that 4th foul, and Patton has 16 points. She leads Grace in scoring tonight.
And the Lancers know that as well.
Patton came in averaging 6 points a game, and now she's got that total. And Collier with a big response on the other side. That gives her 20. Ryman to Patton again. Out right side to Murphy. The leading scorer is Carly Feldman, but she only has 8 points tonight. She gives a screen to Patton. Almost had it stripped, got it back. And a traveling violation called on Patton. I don't know. That's just as perplexing of a travel call as the one that was called on Collier earlier. Here's the.
This is the great assist of that. That's a perfect pass, by the way.
And that's the 3rd assist by Jayla Wayner. That's why she comes off the bench and does so many things as a backup point guard, because she is an assist machine when she comes in.
Oh, she gave him
And McNally tried to get it to Collier, deflected off her hands, and a steal for Patton.
Well, it was tipped before Collier, so Collier seen it coming one angle, and the Lancers tipped it, and that's what caused her to not get a good look at it.
But then they give it right back. They have 13 turnovers. Marian has 15 of those.
Don't need to be in a hurry here. make good decisions down the stretch here.
Bossy has it out high. Winner of this game will take the lead in the conference standings with a lot of basketball still to play. Majorashova.
Got to get it up.
A three by McNally. I think it might have been partially blocked by Feldman, and Murphy picks it up out of there. Murphy's got to be very careful. Peyton Murphy playing with 4 fouls for Grace. Marian has beaten Grace 15 straight times in the series.
I don't think that the Lancers have taken an outside shot in the third period.
Ryman off the mark, and the rebound by McNally. Marian pushing. Each team has gotten 1 bucket here in the fourth quarter. Collier had it batted right back to her. Bossy has it blocked by Feldman. What a play by her.
Good block.
And for Feldman, that is her second block of the night.
Yeah, what's happening to Marian now, John, they're really getting deep in the shot clock, and that's forcing them to take shots they don't necessarily want.
Patton checks out. Finley is in. So interesting substitution there for Grace. Kaylee Patton, who's leading them in scoring tonight, just comes out. Kirsten Finley in for her. Finley.
Tough shot.
Or rather, that's McNally over Finley. And
she was out a little farther than I think she thought she was.
Ryman tries to back her way in on Wayner. And that one's shooting and missing is Murphy. In and out. Feldman the rebound, puts it back up and in.
Well, they know Collier's not going to battle in there, so then it becomes a math equation. She backs off, and they typically are getting numbers at the glass.
And for Feldman, she just got her 6th rebound. Marian has not scored a point in nearly 3 minutes.
Hey, let's give the Lancers a lot of credit. Their defense has been pretty good here in the third and fourth.
And an offensive foul called on Marian. It's either on Majorashova or Collier. It's Majorashova, and that's her 4th.
Yep, pushed off, not a bad call.
Team's first in this quarter, so she's got to come out in foul trouble.
She was trying to fight through that high ball screen and used a little push off there.
Marian led 28-7 in the first half. Grace has come in from Warsaw, far north Indiana. Tough road trip, and they're battling hard here at Marian, and Feldman steps on the line.
Boy, and that was a rocket pass. It was good, and she wasn't able to hold on to it, I should say. But, man, that would have been a great opportunity.
Wayner tries to set the offense up. Finds Collier. Collier needs help. Bossy. Down the lane she goes. Marian becomes patient. Collier with 8 to shoot. Good pass by McNally. Blocked again by Feldman. Her 3rd block of the game, all coming in the second half. Finley. Give and go back to Feldman. Wraparound pass to Jenna Blakely. Blakely takes it up strong and misses over the back foul on Feldman.
Boy, they got her. The back official calls that. Let's see. I honestly, I didn't think there was a lot of contact there. That's a perfect time block.
Wayner.
That's 4 on Feldman, John. That's huge.
Yeah, so she's got 4. She's got 4 and 4 on Peyton Murphy. So 2 of the key Grace starters in foul trouble.
It's been a while since Marian's got a clean, great shot.
Wayner tries to give them that opportunity. Bossy with 6. She drives with 5. Can't get it to go. Rebound by Feldman. Finley hurrying down the floor. A 3 by Blakely. Collier the board.
I'm not sure that's the shot they wanted.
Collier pushes down the lane, slows it up, floats to McNally, out to Evans. She's open and hits.
That's huge. It's been a while, but man, did Marian need that.
And Evans, that's her first second half basket.
Timeout, John.
She has 10 points, a 30-second timeout called here by Grace. Now here's the timeout situation. They are using a 30-second timeout. Look at that last possession. I mean, that's a way to get Evans involved. And I mentioned it earlier in the game, Jan, when Ella Collier got banged up with an injury earlier this season, Evans had to pick up the scoring slack, and she did. And I wonder if that's going to be a key storyline here over these next 5-18.
It's a good point, because you hope by more playing time that people will be able to step up. Listen, she's a 55% shooter, but most of those shots are near the rim. That was huge right there. Marian really hadn't got a clean look in the last 4 or 5 possessions.
But now Grace is struggling again to find a clean look.
Listen, at the end of the day in this league, it's all about defense. It really is about making stops. Most teams are pretty good about scoring points, but who can make the stops down the stretch?
Murphy to Finley. They exchange the passes out there. Patton back in for Grace. Patton calling for it. She gets it. Patton drives. And her shot was altered by McNally, rebounded by Evans.
She didn't get a clean look either. Now with that, if I'm Marian, I really work here and get people moving and get a good clean shot and get back-to-back shots that are clean.
Wayner, step back shot from the foul line. And the rebound by Ruley.
Coach Brooks thought that was too fast.
Murphy from the elbow. Rebound Ruley. Out to Blinkley now. Back to Ruley inside. Yep, and one.
Grace can go physical when they do inside. Here's the offensive rebound, one of their power things that they can do. And they make Marian pay right here because of the offensive rebound.
And McNally just got called for her 4th. And the free throw made by Kate Ruley.
5-point ball game, John. How about that?
She had not scored at all in this game until that 3-point play. 63-58. Marian's lead is down to 5.
Marian's got to get a flow back in their offense.
Evans to Bossy through the lane. Right idea, but through the pass by McNally. Saved by Collier.
Great hustle.
Back inside to McNally, fouled on the drive. She's going to the line. Kate Ruley got her. That's her 2nd.
Well, and one of the things Marian has not done a lot of is get to the free throw line. That is such a weapon for them because they're really good from the free throw line. So the more they can do that down the stretch, certainly better for them.
And they will have to, because they are having a hard time finding their shot. Abby McNally, though, has been huge. The 6'1" freshman forward has played beyond her years.
Yeah, and
17 points after those free throws.
John, you mentioned multiple times, Grace a pretty tall team, and they play physical on top of that. They make it hard for you to have a lot of clean offense.
Patton. McMahon, baseline drive. No. Got her own rebound, though. Missed the 2nd try as well. McNally being harassed after she got the rebound, gets it out to Collier.
Big possession now for Marian.
Marian's 1 for their last 7 from the field. Collier, make it 1 of 8. Fight for the rebound, held ball, and it's staying with Marian. Grace had the ball to begin the 4th quarter, so Marian had the possession arrow in their favor. And Feldman and Ryman, the 2 key scorers for Grace. The 2 of them combined for 33 points a game. They both come back in. Ruley and McMahon sit. Wayner trying to inbound. Finds a cutting Evans, who tried to catch it and go up. Thought she was fouled, no call. And the rebound by Patton up ahead. The layup good by Murphy.
Grace gets a free one.
16 points for Peyton Murphy.
Collier has played a lot of consecutive minutes here, John.
I don't think she's gotten a breather the whole
Not
second
in the second half. You can start to see it a little bit. And here's the deal. She has to work double hard because they're defending her like glue.
And Patton fouls her. That's the first on Patton. Now, that's only the 3rd foul on Grace, so no free throws. It's Coach Dan Davis for Grace. Not happy with the call. Wayner inbounds. Out to Evans. Evans backs out the dribble. To Wayner. Oh, she was wide open. McNally was wide open, and Wayner missed her. Evans drives and misses. She thought she would foul.
Got to finish. Doesn't matter if you get contact or not, John. You got to finish You got to finish strong.
Murphy out to Ryman, a deep three. Yes!
Oh, my. That's downtown, Charlie Brown.
Maddie Ryman has not made a three all night and had not scored since the second quarter until that basket right there.
2-point ball game. Grace has come storming back.
33 points for Grace in the second half. They've outscored Marian 33-20. Evans bounces it in to McNally. Tries to drive on Feldman.
Tough shot.
Rebound Ryman, and Grace has a chance to tie or take the lead. Ryman pass inside. Feldman in trouble. Feldman shoots and misses. Saved by Collier. Collier got a piece of the ball, so she knew she had to go and save it.
Marian wants a timeout. They want to set something up here. Good call. They are a little winded right now. That's a really good timeout, and they need to get a really clean look here, set up out of the timeout.
There's that last three by Maddie Ryman, and you made the point too, Jan. Grace has not really been a team that's wanted to shoot from the outside this whole game, and then right there you see Maddie Ryman knock down probably the shot of the game so far for Grace. She's coming off a game where she scored 31 points, averages 16. She's only got 7, so Marian has stymied her. So for her to make that shot, that's big for her confidence. And now Coach Steve Brooks has got to figure out a way to come up with a big offensive possession here, because like you said, they haven't really had, I mean, really, aside from that shot by Evans where she was wide open, I haven't seen very many good looks for the Marian offense in the second half.
Well, here's the deal. Marian uses almost a pro offense where they really like to reverse, and then ultimately find a seam. I think he may look for a ball screen, trying to get Collier off a ball screen to get her an open look here. I'm just not sure that everything in the lane is going to be available, because Grace, for the most part in this second half, has just packed it in, just daring Marian to shoot from outside other than Collier.
Evans, Bossy, Collier, Wayner, and McNally for Marian. Grace counters with Ryman, Murphy, Patton, Feldman, and Finley, their starting 5. 1:56 to play. Marian has led by 21 points, and their lead is down to 2.
Big, big, big possession for the Knights.
Collier finds Bossy. Cross court to Collier. Open for 3. Fight for the rebound. Feldman had it for a second, but then she got fouled by McNally. Oh, I don't know. McNally, it looked like she was very close to stripping that ball away. And McNally, they call that one on Wayner. Okay, that's a break for Marian. If they called that on McNally, it would have been her 5th. So, yeah, Wayner did reach in there.
Listen, you'll take that shot all day long. She got a clean look for it. Minute 30, Grace got a chance. Tighter, go ahead.
Nearly stolen by Bossy. Feldman backs her way in, scores!
All day. All day, that's what she does. She's a tough matchup. If you play behind her, way too tall, way too physical, I'm not sure Marian can continue to allow the ball go straight in without denying.
Marian's one of their last 11 from the field. Grace is on a 7-0 run. Collier.
Tie ball game.
With 10 on the shot clock. Lost it, got it back. Dump off inside. Evans missed it. Fight for the rebound. It's loose. Whistle. What's the call? Now he says jump ball, but he never gave the jump ball signal.
Under a minute. The possession arrow is exactly where Grace wants it, John. They're going to have 50.8 on the game clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock.
Grace is calling a timeout. This is their second to last one. They got to wipe up some sweat on the floor, obviously, from that last scrum. Who would have thought we would be in this situation, Jan, when it was 28-7 Knights?
Wait, there was no doubt Grace was flat out going to go into attack mode, and specifically with Collier not able to bang bodies down low, you knew they were going to attack the rim, and that's exactly what they did. And listen, that's been kind of their game. And then they've added a three-point shot that was a really good shot. So right now, anybody's game. You got to play good defense and not make a silly mistake. A mistake will kill you right now.
The last point that came from a field goal for Marian was at 5:29 to go in this quarter. That was their last field goal. Everything else that they've gotten since then has been a free throw. Grace with a chance to go in front. Murphy out to Ryman. Patton is open for three. Didn't get it. Wayner the rebound, and she calls timeout immediately.
Great block out by the Knights. Everyone checked out to make sure they got the rebound. That was huge.
And they get to advance the ball. That's a big reason why Wayner called a timeout. So Marian gets to inbound it just in front of half court. 41 seconds to go. This is their third to last timeout. So after this one, they have 2 remaining. Grace has 1 left.
Well,
now, how much of the big question here, Jan, is how much of the shot clock do you use if you're Marian? I think you got to probably, or do you just care about getting a good look no matter what?
Yeah, Grace is going to get a possession either or.
Yeah.
So the key is to get a good look. And you typically don't get a good look if you go super deep into the shot clock. Plus the fact you'd love to have at least an opportunity for an offensive rebound. So typically around 8 to 10, you hope to execute your half court to get a good looking shot.
The offense for Marian has been so stagnant in the second half. They had 45 points at half, which means they've only scored 20 in the second half.
You know, we're down to the territory now where somebody makes a big play, it could be the difference in this ball game. Doesn't necessarily have to be a score, but a big play could be the difference maker.
And only 2 field goals have been made by the Knights in the fourth. They were from Ella Collier and Aaliyah Evans. The other 2 points in the period came from Abby McNally.
Well, you certainly want Collier to have the first look, but that being said, she's going to draw more attention than you can fill in the blank. Here we go, big inbounds.
Evans will play it in. Out to Wayner. Wayner working against Ryman. And Ryman fouls her. Now, they did have a foul to give.
They did.
So.
And they talked about, those are the things you talk about out of bounds, or excuse me, the timeout. If you have fouls you want to give, you want to do that early because you may need it to get to the free throw line later on.
And that's her third. Wayner receives the inbound. Darts it up the floor. Bossy with 18. Good ball denial on Collier. Evans left open. 21 seconds. Evans with 7 on the shot clock. Needs help. Has to do something with it. And what do they say? Timeout, Marian.
Yeah, I think
Coach Steve Brooks saw that, and he was like,
Yeah, he saved a possession because she had nowhere to throw the ball, and time was running out. So that's a really good timeout to save the possession.
But here's the other thing. You only have 4 seconds on the shot clock to work with here.
Great point. This has got to be quick, and more than likely they're once again just going to be completely all over Collier, so she's probably not going to be the option.
What a great basketball game this has been.
Yeah.
And what a job Grace has done battling back. Down 21 points to tie this game up.
Well, Grace is so well coached. Hey, to bring them back from the crater they kind of dug on the road against number 1. It ain't over, but at least what they have performed so far has certainly been an excellent job by this Grace Ball Club. Big possession right here, John.
Winner of this game takes the lead in the Crossroads League Conference standings. Wayner with 4 on the shot clock to inbound. Got it into Collier. Collier had it stripped out of her hands, but she's fouled by Ryman. And Ryman, that's a big thing for 2 reasons. 1, it gives Collier 2 free throws, and 2, that's Ryman's 4th foul.
And a smart call here by Brooks because he had Collier going towards the rim. So if she could get any touch of the ball, more than likely, as close as they were playing her, they were going to foul her.
Again, 98% free throw shooter.
21.
5 of 5 for her at the line in this one. 6 of 6. Grace is putting back in Kaylee Patton. Patton has been their leading scorer.
Timeout, Grace.
And Grace is using their last timeout. 15.8 seconds remaining. Now, they've got to go a bit of a ways here. They got to go up the court. They got 15.8 to work with. And I think this is kind of the age-old debate here, Jan. Do you go for the 2 to try to tie it up on the road, or do you go for the 3? I tend to believe that with the way Grace has played tonight, they're probably going to attack the basket, but they've also hit a couple of big threes in this second half.
I think they have to go with the best shot available. There's not a lot of time to say who's open behind the line and who's not. I think you go and you make smart plays, and I agree with you. More than likely, if I'm in, I want to get the old-fashioned 3 towards the rim because that's what they do the best. Downhill, drive, be physical, and if they can get something to fall and get a foul call, that could be the game.
Ella Collier with a game-high 22 points. Just made the 2 biggest free throws of the game. Marian at 14-1. They have not lost at home. 7-0 this season. And this is their first home game since December 3rd. They haven't had a whole lot of home games yet. Of course, we're going to bring more of them to you this year on the ISC Sports Network. Grace out of timeouts, but Grace is off to a 12-3 start. They haven't played a lot of games on the road. They're 2-1 on the road, trying to get their 3rd road win of the year, and they have really battled back.
They have. Let me tell you something. This is what you play for right here. This is what you play for the lead in the conference and a last-second victory. Here we go, John.
Patton inbounds to Ryman. 10 seconds. Gets a screen from Feldman. Wayner harassing her. Wayner fouls her. Now again, Marian knew the situation. Wayner had a foul to give. She used it there.
That was smart because they didn't foul earlier. Now, what Grace kind of did there is really let a lot of clock escape, and now you got to look for a little bit quicker shot.
Ryman plays it in. Got it into Patton. Patton against Evans. Patton shoots, misses, rebound deflected. Evans has it with 2, with 1, and Marian dribbles out the clock. They survive and win this one against Grace. They survive the Grace comeback and get it done on their home floor, 67-65. Ella Collier cuts down the lane late off the timeout. Well drawn up by Steve Brooks, the head coach, he's probably gonna sleep well tonight. You know he's stressed out after this one, but I got to tell you, Jan, that call he had out of the timeout to get Ella Collier the ball, she gets fouled, she makes those 2 free throws. What a job he did coaching this basketball game.
He's won a national championship, and he knows what it does. But let me tell you something. Grace outscored Marian in every quarter, but quarter number 1, and that's where they have the big lead.
We'll take a brief timeout. When we come back, a look at the final stats and analysis. You are watching Marian University basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
This is the Pepsi for America's best barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you. This is the Pepsi for serious fans and serious eats. This is the Pepsi for Sundays at the ballpark and days off at your favorite pizza joint. Right, Aaron?
Best slice in New York.
Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.
Well, Crossroads League supremacy early in the season belongs to Marian. They go to 6-0 in the Crossroads League with this hard-fought win over Grace. Grace drops to 5-1 in the conference. They're 12-4 on the year. Marian, a very impressive 15-1 now through 16 games. Jan, your final thoughts on what was an outstanding basketball game here tonight.
Wasn't it though? Man, did we have a fun game tonight. And, you know, to win the close ones, wow. You know, Marian played pretty well. Grace gave them anything and everything they could figure out to beat him. Just fell a little short. But, hey, Marian's defense was pretty good, too. Just a great game. Congratulations to the Knight on a big-time victory, and they continue to lead in the conference.
Big thanks to our entire crew on the ISC Sports Network. I'm John Herrick. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Up next for the Marian Knights, Goshen College, January 7th at 1 o'clock. For the entire crew, and along with my partner Jan Bozer, I'm John Herrick saying so long. Your final score for the final time, Marian 67, Grace 65. You've been watching Marian University Women's Basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Now get financing as low as 2.99% APR on a new or used vehicle. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.